Hello, and welcome to another edition of Alien Investigations. As always, I'm your host, Steven, and joining me is Mr. David Pease, all the way from Washington State. Hello, David. How are we doing?
Great tonight. Great. Very excited about this game, the parameters and everything, but I had plenty of time to think about it, and it was a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah. We'll get into that in just a moment. In the meantime, I want to introduce our esteemed judge for the evening, Nathan, all the way from Wisconsin. Nathan, good to see you as always. How's it going?
Good, all the way up here in the snowy Northwoods.
Yeah, excellent. And I love the backdrop, as always, very on theme with the game that we're playing this evening. Job well done on that. Anyone who's seen the channel knows that we are going to be throwing down yet another game of the X-Files CCG, X-Files Collectible card game. David, we're doing something a little different this evening, aren't we? Why don't you tell the audience what we're doing this evening that distinguishes this particular game?
This is a very interesting, a great theme and great audience participation in our Discord channel. Joost, who just joined us in the chat room there, suggested that he pick a team for Steven. He wanted to kind of throw a challenge out there, and that kind of snowballed very quickly. And it's like, well, why don't you pick one for his challenger too? And of course, I volunteered. I jumped at the chance to see what Joost would put together. So these are fan-created agent teams, and Steven and I were required to build our deck around those teams rather than us choosing our own. We were at the mercy of Joost, and I felt like he kind of threw me a softball a little bit. So the skills were pretty strong. The real thing that I liked about this, though, was I got to see Steven's agent team before the game, so I was able to kind of plant a few cards in there that I think are going to really help me out.
That is correct, and that is another aspect that distinguishes this game as well. In a typical game, we do not usually know what agents our opponent is going to be working with, and vice versa. So this game is different in the sense because I knew a few days before this game who was going to be on David's team, and David knew about what I think was about 5-6 days beforehand who my team of agents were going to be. But credit where credit is due. Nathan, if I'm not mistaken, I think this was originally your idea. I think you were the first one to throw it out in our Discord group, and then from that point, it developed into the idea of having an outside party. Maybe someone who's not a part of our regular Saturday night games. Am I remembering that correctly?
Yeah. So my idea was actually to have the opponents pick.
That's right. Now,
and this is sort of an offshoot of that. So I'm still hoping to get that opponent team picking game in at some point.
I'm definitely down for that. So yes, we'll talk about that for a future game for sure. I want to talk specifically about the parameters that we had put in place for this particular game. So as Joost was tasked with coming up with our team of agents, he was made aware that the teams must have a collective 20 RP amongst them. The second stipulation is that our agents' combined res had to be a minimum of 5. And so beyond that, other than that, no duplicate agents. Can't have 2 Mulders or 2 Scullys or 2 Kresges or whatever on your team. But that last stipulation is just part and parcel with the basic rules of the X-Files CCG. Without further ado, I think we can go ahead and introduce our team for the evening. Does that sound good, David?
Yeah. Let's get this party started.
All right. You do the honors. Go ahead and introduce the team of agents that Joost has selected for you.
All right, Joost, you devil. First is Agent 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬. Next is Agent Jerry Lamanna. After that is Agent Nancy Spiller. And then Agent Weiss and Agent Henderson. Kind of an interesting mix there. Had to put in a little bit of thought to that one, but I think I did all right.
That's a solid team right there.
I agree. Yeah. And 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 is actually the only 6 RP agent that is present on either side of the board. But yeah, it's a pretty respectable collection of skills, and I am going to actually throw them up on the screen here for people to see a breakdown of it, of snapshots that I took from Joost's website. Recalling from memory, even though it will be on the screen at this point in post-production, David's team has skills in pretty much everything except behavioral and occult investigation. Those were the only 2 skills for which David had just a flat 0. Everything else he had like 3 or higher. Not to say the least, 10 long-range combat amongst his agents there. So it's a pretty respectable gathering of agents. So my hat is off to Joost for putting together a pretty good team for David. Why don't I go ahead and introduce my team of agents, and then I'll talk a little bit more about the skills that they do have amongst them. For this evening, Joost has chosen my agent team to include Agent Tom Colton, Agent Nancy Spiller, who's also on David's team, Agent Rich, Agent Karen Kosov, and last but not least, Agent Mo Box. Interestingly enough about this team of agents, their game effect is similar across the board. Each of them has an RP token that can be used to purchase cards that possess one of 2 keywords. All 5 of those agents share those skills. But again, looking at the breakdown of the skills, and again, I'm going to have this screenshot of Joost's from Joost's website that you'll see. My agents are lacking in a few things, noticeably subterfuge, and they don't have a whole lot of computer amongst them either. No, not much in the realm of occult, aliens, less than 4 as well. So, and no, pretty much no observation except for maybe what's coming from Mo Box. So the downside to that, if David was craftily putting together his conspiracy cards for his bureau deck, he might have noticed that, a lot of those common bluffs might actually come in handy for this particular game, i.e. Sheriff Daniels, Peter Tanaka, maybe not so much Detective Thompson, because I do actually have a decent amount of bureaucracy on this team, thank goodness.
Can I ask, is this a... what's the card pool that you guys use to build your decks out of?
Oh, great question. We're only using the commercially released cards. There's no custom cards found in this. So again, just to break that down for everyone, that is including the cards from the Premier Edition, the Truth Is Out There Edition, the 1013 expansion, and most likely a few promos. I know I put some in mine, and then presumably David did the same.
I think David has Henderson on his team. So.
Oh, yep. That's one promo right off the bat for sure. So yeah, I think that pretty much leads us into the game. Gentlemen, do you have anything else before we get started?
I'll just say, you're both seasoned veterans of the X-Files game. My approach to judging is going to be, unless there's a dispute for something, or unless somebody miscounts resources or something like that, I'm gonna be in the back. I'm not gonna be waving my hand if one of you misses something or whatever. That's your thing, all right? You are the master of your domain.
All right, so I'm going to send Nathan to the backstage. Thank you so much, our esteemed judge. Do let us know if you see anything amiss.
For sure.
So I think we're ready to get started, David. Why don't we decide now which of us is going to be going first? You know my usual method for determining that. I've got my 2 usual custom tokens. If David pulls this one, the one with the red X from my hand, he will be starting off as the investigating player. Should he choose this one, he will start off as the conspiracy player. All right, David, so which hand is it going to be, my friend?
It is going to be your left.
My left. You're going to be starting off as the investigating player, my friend. We are go, ladies and gentlemen. But we are now in the briefing phase, and so David will now assess his team's res and decide how many cards, if any, he would like to purchase.
All right. CardGameFun gives me 2, and I'm going to add those to my resource rather than conspiracy, as his effect would allow. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Not bad.
Not bad at all.
There we go, up to 11. And like I said, this seems to be a conspiracy hand, so I'm going to buy 3. All right, and I will turn to you to sell and buy for conspiracy.
Thanks so much. Yeah, I kind of have the opposite problem, actually, so it might have actually benefited me to start off as investigating. But you know what? Let's hope I can pull some decent conspiracy cards by selling Misclassified Case for 5. And much as I don't want to do it, I'm going to have to part ways with Hell Money just to make sure I get at least some conspiracy cards that I can use to combat you in this inaugural round. So that's going to take my conspiracy pull up from 5 to 14. I think I'll buy 4 cards. Break it down to 10. Well, we'll head into healing phase, although this is the first round, so you're not going to be doing a whole lot of that.
So healing, like you said, there hasn't been any combat. No one's been assessed any damage, so we'll skip that. Requisition, I'm not going to do anything in that phase either. So we'll go right to deployment and move, assign agents to a section. I'm going to bring them all out into the field here. Plenty of space for 5 agents there, right?
Oh, yeah. More so than mine.
And then I'm going to take advantage of Agent Henderson's token here. Her game effect, place a token on this card. Discard a token to look through your bureau deck to draw any one site that asks a motive question added to your hand.
You know what occurred to me? You never got any prints off those notes. If this guy was wearing a glove on his pen hand, note wouldn't be smeared like it is. For what it's worth.
So very quickly, I'll go through here and find us a motive site. Thank you, Joost, for including that particular effect. Otherwise, I would have been high and dry on that one.
So we're in the deployment phase for those of you who are just joining us. And David has used Agent Henderson's token to pull a keyword motive site from his bureau deck.
Here we go.
You found one?
Yeah.
Tell me what it, because if it's evidence and motive, I'm going to be like, and it's not Dead Horse Alaska, I'm going to be surprised. If it's evidence, because there aren't too many evidence motive combos to my, to my working knowledge.
It's a favorite of everyone's. It's going to be Tracking the Killer.
Tracking the Killer. Criminal, though, not evidence.
There's something bigger here, Scully. I'd be willing to bet there are more of these guys out there.
More victims?
Unless we get to them first. The deaths follow a pattern. New Jersey, New York, Scranton, and then an ad is placed here in Binghamton looking for men exactly like the others. The killer's moving in a northerly direction.
And this site, if I remember correctly, thematic with Agent Henderson. So are they from the same episode?
No, Henderson is from Young at Heart Season 1, and Tracking the Killer is from Colony Season 2.
Colony.
This card, which is from the Truth Is Out There edition, does have a noticeable, what some might call a discrepancy. David, why don't you go ahead and lay that out for us?
Well, this says you may ask one, it's a criminal investigation, and ask motive, but the keywords are mono, affiliation, and criminal investigation.
Right. So the
keywords don't match the skill check and the question.
That's correct.
This has come up in previous ones, and we decided to go with it as the card is written, right?
Yes, that's what we're going to do for this evening. I think that's the cleanest way to go. Just take the card at face value, assume that it is, it was intentional, even though most of us are inclined to think it wasn't.
Before we go any further, I do need to pay for that.
Oh, yeah.
It is 2. And I turn to you for any bluffs.
I'm going to throw down dos bluffs on that site.
Muy interesante.
Let's head into investigation phase. And now, at this point, for those of you who might be new to the game, David is now going to decide which of his agents he will assign to this site.
What the hell? It's early. Let's do this. All 5 agents are going to the site.
Say it with me, David. All in, baby.
All in, baby. Woo!
All right. So the first bluff that I put down on this site is Nasty Surprise. Play to add 5 tokens to your conspiracy pool. Not too bad as far as David's concerned. It's pretty innocuous as bluffs go. So because it was face down, it's only going to cost 2. So I'm going to add 3 to my conspiracy pool to take it up from 10 to 13. So that bluff is out front and center. Ready for the next one?
Ready as I'll ever be. Let's see it.
The next one is car troubles, which was face down. So again, the cost of 3 is reduced by 1. So I'll take my conspiracy pool down from 13 to 11 to pay for it. And car troubles is a little text heavy, so please bear with me. Play on a team of 3 or more agents moving to the same site. The team may only send 2 agents to that site, owning player's choice. That is you, David. Any extra agents remain in the team, but may not contribute their skills to any skill checks this turn. In addition, playing this card will prevent the use of the invasive maneuvers card played by his team, should you have it. So now you must decide which of your 2 agents are going to that site, unless you have something to negate this bluff.
What was the comment about evasive maneuvers again?
You can't play it at this site. So if I play an adversary, a non-phenomena adversary, you can't play evasive maneuvers to get out of that jam.
And what a choice it is. All right, it'll be Lamanna and Krychek.
Which, if I'm not mistaken, gives their collective criminal investigation skills a total of 3, which is 1 shy of what is needed for the site prerequisite. Is that correct?
You would be correct, sir.
Do you have any witnesses in your hand that are going to be able to help you out of that?
Unfortunately, I've got nothing to help me out with my skill check on that. So unfortunately, I'm going to fail that investigation.
That was a tough pull, unfortunately, because from the sound of it, I got the sense you got a lot of conspiracy cards in that initial draw.
Yeah, well, things can change, and I'll be the conspiracy player soon enough.
Oh, yeah. In fact, you'll be the conspiracy player in just a moment. As we head into debriefing, we must now discard down to 7 cards, and I actually do have 7 cards in my hand, so I'm inclined to keep all of them at this point. What about you, David?
Well, I have 10 because I overbought thinking that I was going to get at least 1 site in there, and it didn't happen. So let's see what I can sacrifice.
Something tells me these are going to be some very hurtful sacrifices.
Relentless Pursuit is fun, but I'll let that one go. Successful Diagnosis, I'll let that one go. And I'll let it go. This is Byers, who adds 1 to a team's computer skill check.
So break it down for me. You're discarding Relentless Pursuit, Successful Diagnosis, and Byers. Is that correct?
You are correct, sir.
All right. Sorry to see you guys go, especially Byers, right? So with that, we'll pass it back to me, and I will draw a free card to start the new round. All right. So let's take a look at my team's res here. Colton has 2, Spiller has 1, Agent Rich has 1, Karen Kosov has 1, and Mobox has 1. That is 6 total. So that takes my resource pool up from 5 to 11. And of that 11, I think I'll do 2 cards, which will take my resource pool down from 11 to 9.
I'm going to stick with what I have. No selling or buying. I'll turn it back to you.
Okay, before we leave the briefing phase, I think I'm going to do this, actually. I'm going to play Street Contacts for 1, but actually, because Street Contacts has the keyword criminal investigation, I'm going to use Tom Colton's token to pay for that Street Contacts, which is going to take the cost down from 1 to 0, so it's effectively free.
Didn't expect you here till after visiting hours.
There was a man. He took Scully's blood.
Forget him.
Get that gun out of my
This
face.
high-capacity compact 6-hour 40 caliber weapon is pointed at your head to stress my insistence that your search for who put your partner on that respirator desist immediately.
You ignore my call problem. You expect me to do what you say. You go to
Girl,
hell.
you got him killed. You got her killed. That's not going to happen to me. You're my tool, you understand? I come to you when I need you.
Street Contacts, David, will allow me to search through my bureau deck and place any one witness card in my hand. I will show that witness to you, and then I will shuffle my bureau deck. So thank goodness that card came up. I threw 2 of them in here because I am sans manners. And I think I'm going to pull out 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬.
According to the person who gave me your names, you have expertise in unexplained phenomena. And what's unexplainable is how and when anybody could have done it.
How do you mean?
The valve is made of ferrocarbon titanium. To score, that material would take extreme temperatures, launch pad temperatures. If anyone at NASA were to take a look at that analysis, they would say that it would be impossible for anyone to do that type of damage undetected.
Do you have any idea who may have sent that to you?
No. No idea.
Not Kevin Morris, David, so you can rejoice because my team is decidedly lacking in alien investigation. So 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 adds 1 to my pool every time a keyword computer or bureaucracy card is played, and she costs 3. However, because she has the keyword computer, I'm going to use Nancy Spiller's token to pay for her, so that's going to take her costs down from 3 to 2, so I will only be deducting 2 from my resource pool, leaving me with 7 at this point. And now, let's head into the healing phase, for which none of my agents are currently in need of healing. They have passed their physicals with flying colors. So as we head into requisition phase, I did pull a 1 equipment card, and I'm kind of tempted to issue it. But at the same time, I might need some of those resources. I think I'm going to refrain from doing it. Much as I want to issue it, I think I'm going to need all of those resources, perhaps. So no requisition. I'll just sell it for CP in the next round. Anyway, let's head into deployment. So now all of my agents have been deployed to the field. We are now going to head into case assignment, in which I think I can do this. All right. We've got 2 sites out on the board, David. The first one is Dead Horse, Alaska, which is a multi-site with the keywords affiliation, result, alien investigation, and evidence collection. And actually, I got 2 agents who could potentially pay for that one. We'll do Mobox. He can pay for keyword alien investigation or occult investigation cards. So Dead Horse Alaska is thus free. We also have Aubrey, Missouri, which is a monosite with the keywords motive and behavioral. And behavioral being one that, yes, Karen Kosif can pay for. Well, part of it anyway. She can pay for keyword behavioral or observation sites. So that's going to cut down on the cost of that mono site. So I'll deduct 1 from my resource pool to pay for that one. So now I await any bluffs you have while I decide how to allocate these agents to both, if I can actually do it.
Well, I'm not going to give you any time to think. No bluffs.
No bluffs. Thanks. All right. I think I can. Think I could do this. All right. So if I do, right. Yeah, I got it. Okay. Okay. We are going to send Nancy Spiller, Agent Rich, and Mo Box to Dead Horse, Alaska. And we're going to send Karen Kossoff and Agent Tom Colton to Aubrey, Missouri. We'll begin our investigation over in Dead Horse, Alaska, and hope everyone brought their mittens. The keywords, once again, David, are affiliation, result, alien investigation, and evidence collection. And we're going to apply our evidence collection skills to this site, for which Nancy Spiller has 1, Agent Rich has 2, and Mo Box has 2, for a total of 5, enough to make the site prerequisite of evidence collection 5. What do you got for me?
I have authorized access only.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're taking advantage of my team's lack of subterfuge.
What the hell is it?
Please, step out of the car.
You think if maybe we ignore him, he'll go away?
Please, step out of the car.
Guess not.
Which way?
Mulder, FBI!
Federal agents?
You want to tell me what this is about?
National security. Now get in your car. You'll be escorted back to your motel. You'll pack and leave town immediately or assume the consequences of intense indiscretion.
Go ahead and read the effect for the audience who may not be aware of that particular card.
Yes, force an opponent team to make a subterfuge 4+ skill check. If they are not successful, they automatically fail the skill check for the site. And the cost is 4, so I'll take that off right now.
Okay.
Anything to stop that, sir?
Yeah, and I'm actually very glad I did not requisition that equipment, because I wouldn't have had enough to pay for good old 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬. I was hoping to save him for a little bit. But 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬's also going to take a trip up to the frozen tundra of Alaska for the cost of 3, and that's going to take my resource pool down from 6 to 3, and that site or that event is negated.
Damn it! Frozen again. They've encrypted the manual override commands.
Well, decrypt them.
I don't have enough power. My CPUs are pegged.
Langley, what's happening?
I'll try decrypting in background mode.
How long will that take?
In my counts per sec, I estimate 7 to 10 days.
Oh. Needless to say,
our asses are fried. Where are you going?
To unfry us.
You are free to investigate the site.
Thank you kindly. And so, because my team's investigation of this site has proven successful, they have been awarded an affiliation or a result question. And let's say we start off with affiliation, shall we, David?
Always a good choice, in my opinion.
By any chance, is your X-Files affiliation evolutionary?
It is not.
It is not. Oh, but I don't need this checklist because I am using Joost's website this evening because I did not forget to pull it up on my screen. All right, so that takes it down from 41 possibilities to 32. And again, for those of you who may be wondering what I'm using instead of my usual laminated checklist, Joost Berns from the Netherlands, who has chosen our agents for this evening, has a very helpful website devoted to the X-Files collectible card game. Again, I'm going to have the link in the description below so you guys can check it out. It has, amongst other things, an agent team builder for which he used to construct our agents this evening. It also has a deck building tool for which we use to build our Bureau decks around the agents that Joost chose. And it also has a checklist of the 41 possible X-Files that you can just use to check off as you're proceeding through the game, rather than relying on the paper checklist, for which the possibility of mistakes can happen from time to time. It has happened on this channel, so I'm going to be using Joost's checklist to reduce the possibility of scratching off an X-File by mistake. So we're going to send Dead Horse Alaska to the discard pile, and we're going to turn our attention over to 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬, Missouri. Once again, that is a mono site with the keywords motive and behavioral, and the prerequisite for that site is behavioral 4, of which Karen Kotsov has 3, Agent Tom Colton has 1, just enough to make that prerequisite. What do you got for me, David?
I only got 1 conspiracy point, so I got nothing for you.
Not much you can do with that, I'm afraid.
All I can do is sit here and split bullets and hope you don't get lucky.
Well, we'll find out in just a moment. For now, because this site, too, has proven successful, the team has been awarded a motive question. Is your X-Files motive ideology?
It is not.
It is not. So I will scratch off all of the X-Files that have a motive of ideology. That is what I'm doing on my computer, which you cannot see. And so now I have narrowed David's hidden X-File down from 41 to 24 possibilities. But there are still plenty of options there, so I'm disinclined to take a crack at identifying David's X-File, lest he get a penalty question. So that being said, I'm going to discard 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬, Missouri, and we're going to head into the debriefing phase now. David, do you have anything you need to discard?
I have 6 cards and no discard.
Yeah, I have 6 as well, so keeping them all. All right, let's pass it back to you, my friend. Draw that free card.
I'll start my investigation by drawing my free card. Very nice.
Huh. Thank you kindly. Joost says, Steven is a machine with his knowledge. Well, I am actually sweat and blood. No metallic parts hidden underneath. I'm not a Terminator at all. Or am I? And Jonathan Hagee says, Steven definitely knows this game incredibly well. Thank you, Jonathan. I know you're sick this evening with the dreaded norovirus, so I commend you for staying up late to tune into this game and hail us with your comments. So get well soon, my friend, and thank you for watching.
I drew my free card, so let's do res. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Takes me up to 12. And on that note, I'm going to be greedy and play hard evidence for 2. Add 5 tokens to your resource pool. So I'll use 2 of those 5 to pay for it. So I'll just add 3. Set that one aside. I'm going to buy 3. 1, 2, 3. 3, and I will turn to you to sell and buy for conspiracy.
Thank you, sir. I just have 1 card to sell, which was that equipment card I was hemming and hawing over in the last round. That was a laptop computer, which I included in the deck because I'm like, well, my team is a bit lacking on the computer, and I'd prefer you not hit me with the authorized access, not authorized access only, computer access denied. But unfortunately, it turns out I need to sell it for some hot conspiracy points right now, of which the laptop will get me 4, which will take my conspiracy pool up to 15. And of that 15, I think I'm going to take 5 cards.
Oof.
Yeah, which will take my conspiracy pool down from 15 to an even 10. Oh, I pulled Rejuvenating Caves, so I'm going to go ahead and play that now, if you don't mind. Rejuvenating Caves. Play this card next to your X-File. Place 10 tokens on this card. Beginning on your opponent's next turn, you may take up to 2 tokens from your card and add them to your conspiracy pool. The tokens become conspiracy tokens when all tokens have been removed. Discard this card. All right, so good old Rejuvenating Caves for the cost of 2 is going to allow me to use those tokens in later briefing phases when David is the investigating player, though not this first one. Let's head into healing, shall we?
Yes, no damage has been allotted, so nothing to do in healing. I'm moving to a requisition. I'm not going to requisition any equipment, so we'll move on from that as well. We'll go to deployment. All of my agents are going to stay where they are in the field, and we'll just go right to case assignment. And I am going to a fitting site here, the Eurisco building in Crystal City, Virginia. This is Computer 5 or Bureaucracy 5. You may ask one method question or one result question.
File deleted.
No bluffs.
All right. Well,
did you pay for that site?
I did not. Yes, I did. Now, well, to stay on theme, Lamanna and Spiller are definitely going, right?
Yes, because both of those 2 agents hail from the episode Ghost of the Machine, for which the Eurisco building is the central location.
And you know what? I'm going to go all agents on this. I'm still a little leery of adversaries, and this is the part where I tell you which.
Yeah, go ahead and select your site prerequisite that you're going to apply to this multi-site, and then read off the skills for your agents.
Yep, it'll be a computer 5+. I've got Lamanna for 3. Spiller for 1, which makes 4. And then my guy Weiss with 1, which makes 5.
I'm going to play 1 breath for 4, take my conspiracy pool down from 8 to 4. And 1 breath is going to allow me to search through my bureau deck and add any 1 event card to my hand. I will show that to you.
And before you do that, 1 breath is an event, isn't it?
Yes, it is an event. It's a purple one. Are you going to frohickey that, or shall I go search my deck?
You know, last week I was this close to getting skunked in a game that I'm playing, and I'm determined to earn a question in this one. I am going to play frohickey for 3.
Melvin, I knew you'd come begging sooner or later.
Lay off the Melvin crap. I need some serious gigaflops, and I need them now.
What I hear, some guy with a beard took that chip.
Those were a woman's lips I kissed.
Like you ever kissed a gal before.
I don't have time for this.
You gonna take it away from me?
Give us the chip, Eve, or you'll be sacrificing the lives of hundreds of people, including Byers and his father.
I'm crying.
Yeah, you're one real tough cookie. How much you can enjoy spending the millions you make selling that chip when you realize it's been paid for in blood?
I guess you don't know me.
Well, maybe I do. 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬. Your name, Eve Adele Harlow, is an anagram of 𝐗-𝐅i𝐿. Some joke. I know who you really are, sugar. And I can tell the world in my silly little rag.
All right, my friend. You did it. You got it. One breath is negated. Remind me, the two question types were what again?
Method or result?
I am going to bottom out my conspiracy pool to play Joseph Patnik for 4, and Joseph Patnik has an activator of result site, of which that is one of the keywords found on that particular site. Joseph Patnik, David, is a government phenomena type adversary, and his game effect states subtract 1 from all damage sources applied to this adversary. The long-range combat round is skipped.
All right, you bastard. Evil. Rotten.
Do you have anything you'd like to negate that particular adversary, or shall we go into the combat subroutine? The choice is yours.
No. Let's enter combat.
Not Mortal Kombat, ladies and gentlemen. That's a different game altogether, but the lives are nevertheless at stake, specifically the lives of David's agent team. And so, once again, the long-range combat round is skipped, so David's not going to get to apply that double-digit amount of long-range his team has. We're going to go straight to close-range combat. So, David, break it down for us. How much close range does your agents have? I think it's about 8, if I'm not mistaken, but
it is wrong. 7.
Oh, 7. Okay. All right. I don't know everything.
2 on 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬, 1 for Lamanna, 1 for Spiller, 1 for Henderson, and 2 for Weiss.
So 7 close range means that we're going to subtract 1 from each of them, and so subtracting 1 from each of their close range gives you how much?
Well, let's recount here. So that takes 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 from 2 to 1. Pretty much knocks out Lamanna, Spiller, and Henderson, and Weiss. It would be 2, but is now 1. So we're doing 2 points of damage on close range.
So 2 points of damage is inflicted on Joseph Patnik, which is going to take his health down from 4 to 2. Simultaneously, Joseph Patnik is going to inflict 4 close range damage on Agent Lamanna, and that's going to be more than enough to send him to the hospital.
I heard about Jerry. I'm sorry.
And now, because Joseph Patnik is still standing with a health of 2, we're going to enter a second round of close-range combat. So without Agent Lamanna, David, that leaves you how much close range?
Still at 2.
Still at 2. So that will be more than enough to defeat Joseph Patnik. His health is 0, and so he will thus be killed as a result of the combat, but not, however, before he inflicts 4 more close range, which he will inflict upon Nancy Spiller, thus sending her to the hospital. And if I'm not mistaken, that's going to leave you with a decidedly low amount of computer skills to apply to that site prerequisite. Am I correct?
You got me on that one.
Joost says, I think Patnik is too OP, and I think you're correct. For the cost of 4 to be able to skip the long range and have 1 subtracted from each of the sources of damage, that's going to significantly reduce the amount of damage inflicted upon him. So he's usually guaranteed to get a couple of rounds of close range which is going to usually knock out 2 agents because most agents have a health of 3 or 4. So Patnik's typically going to get 2 agents sent to the hospital. And for 4, that is, as Joost says, OP. David, with no other recourse, I believe it's time to discard that site and head into debriefing, yes?
You are correct again, sir.
Okay, and so now, as we are once again in debriefing, I find myself holding 7 cards, and I'm inclined to keep all of them.
I have 7. I'm going to keep all of mine as well. So we'll turn back to you.
Thank you so much. I will draw my free card to start a new round. And so, once again, I'm going to be adding 6 res to my resource pool, courtesy of my 5 agents. And that's going to take my resource pool up from 3 to 9. And I'm going to also return their tokens to them that I used to buy stuff in the previous round. I'll buy 4 cards. Take my resource pool down from 9 to 5. Over to you, David.
Oh, I'm going to hate myself in the morning for this. I'm going to sell evasive maneuvers for 4.
I knew you had that card. That's why you were asking me about it when I played Card Troubles.
I'm not going to buy any. I'll turn back to you.
Okay. Alrighty. I do have a couple things to do before we leave the briefing phase. For 1, I'm going to play Friend in the FBI. For 2,
I have the distinction of being one of 3 men to have exterminated such a creature. I was with the CIA in Vietnam. UFO was sighted for 5 nights over Hanoi. The Marines shot it down and brought it to us. Maybe it didn't know what a gun was, or perhaps they don't show emotion. But that innocent and blank expression as I pulled the trigger has haunted me. Until I found you. That's why I come to you, Mr. Mulder, and will continue to come to you to atone for what I've done. And maybe sometime, through you, the truth will be known.
play this card in the bureau. Place 10 tokens on this card. During your briefing phase, you may take up to 2 tokens from this card and place them in your resource pool. The tokens become resource tokens. When all tokens have been removed, discard this card. It's hard reading that effect when I'm still battling a sinus infection. Good Lord. I am going to take 2 of the 10 tokens off of Friend in the FBI and use them to pay for the card because we are still at this point in the briefing phase. So that was the first thing I wanted to do. The second thing is I'm going to play Lovely, Lovely Hard Evidence, which also came up in this poll.
This isn't official procedure. Really? Oh. It's probably a safe bet Ray Soames never made the varsity basketball team. Seal this up. Right now. Nobody sees or touches this. Nobody.
I will add 5 tokens to my resource pool for the cost of 2, which is going to take it up from 5 to 8. Let's now enter the healing phase, which, once again, everyone is in top-notch health. So we're going to brush past healing phase and go into requisition. The 1 equipment card I have, I will not be able to issue because everyone's out in the field. For deployment, we're going to keep everyone deployed out in the field. We're going to send the team to Ellen's Air Base in Idaho as we go into the case assignment phase. And Ellen's Air Base, David, has the keywords mono, affiliation, and bureaucracy.
What are they?
keep watching. It's unbelievable.
That's unreal. I've never seen anything like it.
They've been going at it like that for almost half an hour.
Well, it can't be aircraft. Aircraft can't maneuver like that.
What else could they be?
I don't know, lasers maybe. Being shot from the ground, reflecting up off the clouds. Oh my god.
And because it has the keyword bureaucracy, someone can pay for that. Oh yeah, Colton, I will use one of his tokens to pay for that. And then I will deduct one from my resource pool to pay for the other half of Ellen's airbase. However, Michelle Generou adds one right back to my pool every time a keyword computer or bureaucracy card is played. So that takes it right back up from 7 to 8. Thank you, Michelle. Bluff me if you dare, David. One bluff.
Dose.
Dose bluffs. Okay, dose bluffs it is. Let's head into the investigation phase, for which we will be applying our bureaucracy skills to this site prerequisite, for which Nancy Spiller has 2, and Agent Mo Box has 1, and Tom Colton also has 1. Everyone is at this site. We're all on board. Let's see the first bluff, David.
The first bluff, limited choices.
Who would have thought, right?
Fox, please. Mom, did he ever ask you to make a choice?
Don't do
Mom,
this.
listen to me. I need to know. Did he make you make a choice?
No. I couldn't choose. It was your father's choice. And I hated him for it. Even in his grave, I hate him still.
I'm going to pay 3 to randomly discard 3 cards from your hand.
Okay. Well, I'm afraid my long-haired friend Langley has something he would like to say about that, and that is no.
Lord Manhammer.
Say it. Say it.
Your kung fu is the best.
And for the low cost of 2, I put an exclamation point on that. No.
No.
They will all stay in my hand.
All right. Well played. Ready for that second one.
Let's see the second one.
You've got a tail. Play after the team investigates the site. Your one evidence resource.
The question is, do I want to stop that? The thing is, though, I do have 8, so I would have to discard a card anyway in debriefing.
I guess I would ask, am I playing this at the right time?
It's okay. It's a bluff. I mean, you can use it to destroy it. Wait, that's an event resource, right? Or which are you going after my friend in the FBI?
No, it's a bluff phenomenon, but it says play after a team investigates a site.
Oh, yes. What it's saying is, well, yeah, we are going to the site. So the card, you flip up the card at this point, like you flip up any bluff. But following the investigation, the resource card, the event resource card, yes?
Correct. Yep.
Of your choice will get destroyed. So, yeah. Okay. I mean, technically, it would play out for the rest of this phase, but following the end of the phase, it's gone. Okay, David, go ahead and pay for that card.
It would normally be 3. It was played upside down, so it'll cost me 2. And now we're both even on conspiracy. But here comes
the Erlenmeyer flask, and for the cost of 4, which will take my resource pool down from 6 to 2, I will negate any one card during a bureaucracy or alien investigation skill check, and this is the former, so the Erlenmeyer flask will be able to negate that 1 card.
So why give it back to them?
To save Mulder's life.
At the risk of so many other lives?
It's the tip of the iceberg. You and Mulder are the only ones who can bring it to light. Now give me the parcel. Give me the parcel, Scully.
Wow. I don't know how you always have the right card at just the right time.
And Michelle Generou will be adding one right back to that because Erlenmeyer Flask has the keyword bureaucracy on it. All right, so seeing as you have 0 conspiracy points left, that's a safe bet you aren't able to thwart this investigation. Shall I proceed with the question?
You are free to investigate, sir.
Come on!
That was extreme.
And so, because my investigation of Ellen's airbase has been successful, the team has been awarded an affiliation question. David, by any chance, is your X-Files affiliation government?
It is not.
It is not government. So I'll take off the remaining government ones, and now I have only 17 X-Files remaining, and so I will not be throwing an identity question your way at this time, good sir. Lucky you. Shall we head into debriefing?
Please. I have 4, so no discard.
Again, I have 7 cards as previously stated, so keeping them all. Back to you.
Start in my investigation with the draw for turn. I'll generate my RP, which is 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to buy 3. And turn to you to sell and buy for conspiracy.
I'm going to take 2 from Rejuvenating Caves to bring my conspiracy pool up to 2. And I'm going to sell Nurse Owens for 6. And the shotgun for 6. And so that's going to take my conspiracy pool up to 14. Thank goodness those cards came up. All right, so shall we say 5 cards? Yeah, we'll say 5 cards. Takes the conspiracy pool down from 14 to 9. Back to you for healing.
All right, we'll move to the healing phase. Now, I do have 2 agents with damage. Their health is both 3, so they'll heal 1 piece. Take it on and 1. And then we'll go to requisition. I have no cards to requisition, so we'll move on from that. And we'll go to deployment. Now, refresh my memory. These 2 guys still have too much damage to move back to the field. Is that correct?
Correct. They still have 2 damage apiece on them. Now, the thing with agents that only have a health of 3 to start off with, you can't take an agent out of the hospital until they have a minimum of 3 health. So they're going to be in the hospital for 3 rounds. Agents that have a health of 4 or more, you can take 2 tokens off of them during the healing phase. But again, you can't take them out of the hospital until they have, again, a minimum of 3 health.
So as far as deployment, everyone will stay where they are. Case assignment. We are going to Striker's Cove.
From Quagmire.
Yes, that is evidence collection 4+ and affiliation question.
Evidence collection, you say? Yes.
Correct.
Yes, evidence collection. Yeah. Dose bluffs. Boom.
I'm going to go all in with what I have available.
We're in the investigation phase. David, take us through what evidence collection skills your 3 agents are sitting on at this point.
All right. Evidence collection prerequisite is 4. I have Krychek with 2, Henderson with 3, and Weiss with 2. 7 all day.
7 all day. All right. So I'll go ahead and reveal the first bluff, which is my second nasty surprise. And because it was face down, it only costs 2, and I'll be able to add 3 to my conspiracy pool. And the second bluff. Ready for this one, David?
No, but go ahead.
No, you're not, unfortunately, because the second bluff is the conundrum. Play to negate 1 keyword evidence collection card. And so for the cost of 2, because the conundrum was face down, your site that has the keyword evidence collection on it is thus negated. With that investigation concluded, let's head back into debriefing, right?
Debriefing, yeah. I have exactly 7.
I need to discard something, so bear with me for one moment. I'll discard Alien Discretion. And that'll take me down to 7. Let's pass it back to me. Yes?
Back to you, sir, to start your investigation.
Free card. We're going to take 2 from Friend in the FBI to increase my resource pool from 3 to 5. My agents, again, are all still out in the field and not the hospital, so we have been granted 6 res. Takes my resource pool up from 5 to 11. 3 cards. Sell as you wish.
I will be selling to Detective Sharon Lazard for 2. And risky, but Northeast Georgetown Medical Center for 2. Which takes me up to 4. And I will not purchase any cards, so go right ahead.
All right, so before we exit briefing, I did pull my second hard evidence, which I'm going to play now and get that out of the way. So for the cost of 2, I'll add 5 tokens to my pool, thus 3, up to 11. Again, healing phase. Everyone's in tip-top shape. So we're going to go into requisition, but we're going to go quickly out of requisition because I don't have any equipment to hand out at this point. Deployment. Everyone's going to stay in the field as they are. So we're going to be heading to 2 sites, potentially. Not 100% on that, but we're going to see how this shakes out. 2 sites, David. The first of which is Mattawa, Washington, monosite with the keywords result and bureaucracy. And I'm going to use Colton's RP token, which I forgot to give back to him at the beginning of the round, but unless the judge objects, replace it at the start of each round. Colton will pay for that, and so that's going to shave 1 off the cost of Mattawa, Washington, which will take the resource pool down from 11 to 10. However, Michelle Generu will generate 1 because it has the keyword bureaucracy. Good so far, Judge? He's giving me the thumbs up. Thank you so much. All right, let's turn over to 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 House. Multi-site, affiliation, motive, subterfuge, and behavioral. And Karen Kosif, I'm looking to you. No. I'm looking to Agent Rich, actually, because it has the keyword subterfuge. So he's going to pay for 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 House, and the site is thus free. I wait any bluffs you might have.
1 that I'm going to put on the Mattawa, Washington.
Mattawa, Washington it is. Okay, so let me see if I can actually pull this off. As we head into the investigation phase, I will be assigning Agent Tom Colton, Nancy Spiller, and Mo Box to Mattawa, Washington. And I will assign Karen Kosif and Agent Rich to the 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 house. Let's begin our investigation at the 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 house, shall we, David? And the site prerequisites for that are subterfuge or behavioral 5. We're going to be applying our behavioral skills to that, for which Agent Rich has 2, Karen Kosif has 3. Got anything for me?
No.
No? Okay. Well, that was a nice, smooth investigation for my pair of agents. Because the site investigation was successful, have been awarded an affiliation or motive question. And I still haven't figured out that affiliation, so I'm inclined to ask that. David, by any chance, is your X-Files affiliation alien?
It is not.
All right, so that takes it down to 11 possibilities. Not taking a crack at your X-Files identity at this point. Discarding that site. Let's turn our attention to Mattawa, Washington, for which you do have a bluff on that site. But before you turn that one face over, let's assess what skills we can put towards the site. It's bureaucracy 4. Colton has 1. Spiller has 2. Mobox has 1 for a total of 4. That's just enough. Show me the bluff.
Well, it is a bluff card, but I'm actually not going to take advantage of it.
Would it even work for bureaucracy?
No, it doesn't apply. It's Claude Peterson.
Yeah.
Kind of a fun one, again, trying to stay on theme with Ghost in the Machine there.
Yeah, I kind of like it. I mean, how do you feel about the episode?
I liked it.
What else do you have in your hand that you might want to throw at this site?
I got nothing. Go for it.
Okay. All right. Well, it's a result question this time. So, yes, successful investigation. Throw the little solved icon onto that site in post-production. By any chance, is your X-Files result death?
It is not.
Well, you're still in this because I do have you only down to 8 possibilities, and that's still quite a few left to be taking any guesses. But you know what? Because you haven't gotten a question this evening, I want to give you a chance. So what the hell? I'm going to take a crack at your X-Files identity. It's 1 in 8. By any chance, is your X-File the poltergeist?
It is not.
It is not. And so I have narrowed you down from 8 to 7 possibilities. However, because I was incorrect, you have been awarded a penalty question. So take a crack at it. You can ask me a result. You can ask, if my X-File is one of the 41. It's up to you. What say you?
I'm going to ask you a result question. I think I'll get a little more bang for my buck out of that.
Yeah.
Is your result manipulation?
My X-Files result is not manipulation. Good guess, though.
Okay. Well, I'll scratch all these off in a moment here. I only have 4 cards, so no discard on my part.
I'll just get rid of this blue plate. I mean, if I play it down debriefing, odds are I can't use it. So let's turn it over to you, David.
All right, I'll start my investigation by drawing my free
Draw
card.
that free card.
And generate res. I've got 2, 3, and 4. I am going to, I'm going to buy 5. 1,
5.
2, 3, 4.
Go nuts. You got 13. Yeah.
Well, before I turn it over to you, I'm going to play hard evidence.
Yep. Well, at least those are coming up. Yeah.
Me 3.
I think both of our hard evidences our 2 hard evidences have come up in this game. I'm just going to sell 1 card, and that is Deep Throat for 5. And that's going to take my conspiracy pool up from 10 to 15. And of that 5, let me just do the whole 5. Yeah, let's get deep into the deck. We'll do 5. Back to you, David. Let's heal those agents, shall we?
Yeah, I'll go to the healing phase, and I'll take 1 off of each of them.
On the plus side, they've been moved out of the ER. You know, they're recovering nicely.
It's recovering, eating some hospital food. We'll go to requisition, and I have no requisition actions. Deployment, everyone's going to stay where they are, 3 in the field and my 2 in the hospital. Case assignment, I'm actually going to use Weiss's token. Place a token on this card, discard a token to look through your bureau deck to draw any one site that asks a method question. Add it to your hand or reshuffle your deck. So I'll look very quickly here for a method site. I happen to have that site right here. It is
the one you tried it for earlier.
Newark, New Jersey. This is evidence collection 4+ and a method question that costs 2.
What part of the sewer was I in?
That'd be one of the older sections, big 8-foot tunnels.
It looked more like a catacomb than a sewer line.
Yep, all the new sections are concrete pipe, not much of it bigger than 24 inches.
And all the sewage comes through this plant?
560,000 people a day call my office on the porcelain telephone.
Okay.
I'll turn to you for any bluffs.
Well, lucky for you, I do not have the conundrum in my hand again. I think I only put one of him in here. Uno bluff.
Okay. All 3 agents are going to the site. Let's see that bluff.
The bluff. If you're feeling a sense of deja vu, don't worry. I did play that card earlier. But yeah, it is Car Troubles again. But I'll spare the audience of having to listen to me run through the text again. Long story short, David, only 2 of your agents are going to that site. And because it was face down, I'm only going to be subtracting 2 from my conspiracy pool to pay for it. Pick your 2 agents. The 3rd will be waiting by the side of the road for AAA to eventually come.
My 2 agents are going to be Krychek and Henderson.
All right. So does that leave you with enough evidence to continue with the site?
Evidence collection 4+. Krychek has 2 and Henderson has 3. So 5.
It has 5. Okay. What was the question you would get should this site investigation prove successful?
Method.
And with that, I will play Squeeze for the cost of 3. And Squeeze as the activator method site. Squeeze, David, is an evolutionary creature, and its game effect is that the long-range combat round is skipped. I made a point of including a lot of adversaries for which the long-range combat round is skipped, knowing that you had Krychek, who has a very deadly 4 long-range. So anything to negate that, like an X, maybe, or...
Nope. Let's just plow through it.
All right, we're going to go into the combat subroutine for the 2nd time this evening. So once again, long range is skipped, and we're going to go straight to close range combat.
Krychek has 2, and Henderson has 1.
Okay, and so that is going to take Squeeze's health down from 5 to 3, while he's simultaneously going to inflict 3 onto Krychek, which is going to keep him in the game because he has 5 health. So he's not doing great. He can still throw a punch at this point. All right, so we're going to head into a second round of close range and wrap this one up. So you still have the same amount of close range. That was 3, yes?
3, yep.
That's enough to defeat Squeeze, but not, however, before he deals one final punch, and that is going to be enough to send Krychek to the hospital. So Agent Henderson is still standing. However, she doesn't quite have enough evidence collection to single-handedly investigate the site. Got any witnesses that can help her out?
Nope, she's all on her own, and quite frankly, she does not have the skills to pay the bills.
Well, that's too bad. She's just like one shy, too, if I'm not mistaken, right? Let's say we head into debriefing once again.
Yeah, this debriefing is going to suck.
Yeah, I'm going to get rid of the Sandman because I've decidedly torn your team apart tonight, and I don't think I'm going to play another adversary this evening. I'm also going to get rid of Illusionary Foe because I'm not going to do another adversary.
My 2 is going to be Ghost in the Machine. Again, another one that I kind of threw in there for thematic.
Yeah.
The other one is Taking Chances.
We have discarded down to 7 each, and let's say we pass it back to me.
Yep, you're up.
Thank you. Drawing my free card. And so we'll take 2 more from Friend FBI. Take the resource pool up to 13. We'll also add 6 more to the resource pool for my agent's res, which will take it up from 13 to 19. That is probably the most resource points I've ever had at this point. I'm also going to return the tokens I used in the last round to Colton and Rich for paying for those cards. So we got 19 in my resource pool at this point. Heaven help me if you pull an unexpected call on me. Let's say we do. I got enough stuff to work with. I don't need a whole lot. Let's just do. We'll do 2 cards. Sell away.
All right, I'm going to sell Nurse Owens for 6, Victor Klemper for 3, and Gerd Thomas for 1. That gives me 10.
I got to ask you about Gerd Thomas because I think in every game I've played with you, he always shows up. You always discard him. He's got 1 to observation. What's the thought process behind him? Is it a favorite episode?
Probably just recycling decks.
Oh, okay.
He just stays in there. I'm not going to buy any.
Nothing to buy. 14. It's nothing to sneeze at. Skip past healing. Everyone is looking really good. Nothing to worry about as far as their health is concerned. Requisition, no field equipment currently sitting in my hand, so we're going to skip requisition as well. Okay, deployment, everyone's staying in the field as they are. For case assignments, we're going to be sending the team to Baltimore, Maryland. From the episode Squeeze, which just played a big part in that last round. And
there's only room for 1.
You can get the next mutant.
Maryland is a multi-site with the keywords method and result, sciences, and evidence collection. And I'm going to use Agent Rich's RP token to pay for that multi-site, so the cost of the site is reduced to 0.
2 bluffs.
Okay, all right. Getting a little nervous. Doesn't mean I don't have anything, but still. Let's continue on. Everyone is going to the site, and yeah, let's go ahead and apply our evidence collection skills to this site, for which Nancy Spiller has 1, Mobox has 2, Agent Rich has 2, and Karen Kosov has 1. That is 6 evidence collection, enough to make the site prerequisite. Show me the bluffs.
Well, show me the bluffs. First one is Intruder Countermeasures Program. Play to add 2 conspiracy to your pool immediately. The cost is 1, but it was played upside down, so it's 0. So I just add 2.
file opened.
You're just drowning in conspiracy points over there.
Yeah.
What's the second one?
Second bluff is the conundrum.
Aww.
Cost is 3. It was played upside down, so the cost is 2. I'll take 2 off.
Yep.
And let's see if you have anything to negate that.
Well, I do, and funny enough, it was the card that one of the cards that Nathan was just showing off a little while ago.
Scully's Dream.
Oh, I wish. No, but it is a no one so paranoid, and so for the cost of 5, I will. How much did I have?
Oh shoot, I wasn't watching. Wasn't it 15?
I think so. Nathan, you weren't watching by chance. How much RP did I have in my pool? Joost, how much RP did I have before I started clacking away at that? David, you said 15?
I thought it was 15, and you tapped it 3 times.
Okay. So potentially 10. We're going to continue with that. If Joost or anyone who's watching believes I had a different number than 15 before I started deducting the 5 for No One So Paranoid, do let me know. But we're going to proceed under the assumption that... Oh, he says I had 17. Okay.
17? Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much, Joost. I really do appreciate you keeping an eye on things. With that, we will be using No One So Paranoid to negate one bluff attached to a site, and that would be the conundrum there. Got anything else for me?
Yeah, let's have some fun here.
Let's have some fun.
John Barnett links you to Mulder.
Ooh. And that one has an activator of agent, or believer, right? Agent believer or just agent?
Just conspiracy and agent.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. We got 5 agents on there. Okay. All right. That's a big one. He costs 12. So
costs 12, but I got it.
You got him. Yeah, you can afford him. You're good for him. Oh boy. All right. Let's carry on. Tell us a little bit about John Barnett and why he costs so much. For one, he can be played on pretty much any site as long as there's an agent there.
Yeah, it's conspiracy and agent. His effect is this adversary regenerates or / heals at 2 points of health at the beginning of each combat round, as long as his health is not at 0.
Mm-hmm.
His long range is 4, short range is 4, and health is 7.
All right. But my question for you is, what are his keywords?
Keywords are adversary, government, and creature. And you have evasive maneuvers, right?
I do. Could you see that? Because I had the card like right here. Is that how
No, I knew it because you had that look on your face like you had just the right card.
I just wanted to make sure he wasn't phenomena because I was gonna be like, ooh, I'm in trouble if he's got that phenomena keyword on there. But I was fairly certain he didn't. As you prophesized, I do have evasive maneuvers, and I will be paying 4 to negate that very, very expensive adversary, David.
Roger, request for assistance 50. What is your present location? Unit 50, go ahead.
Suspect now westbound has entered the shade of the shipworks off April Street. Unit 50 still in pursuit. Over.
I wrote Unit 50, I copy. Keep me advised when you are clear.
I feel bad actually doing that, but at the same time, I don't want him to steamroll over all my agents.
Well, don't feel bad. It's all part of the game.
Yeah. So you're only sitting on 2 conspiracy points at this time. I'd be surprised if you had anything that could stop me.
I do not. You're free to investigate the site.
Okay. Thank you so much. And so because that site was a successful one, My team has been awarded either a method or a result question, and I have yet to identify any characteristic regarding David's X-File. By any chance, is your X-Files result abduction?
It is not.
It is not abduction. I may be, pulling some great cards, but I'm sure as hell not pulling some great questions, I'm afraid. So, scratching off the abduction results on Joost's very helpful checklist, that leaves me with 4 X-Files remaining that could be David's hidden X-File. And, I'm a sport, and I want David to have a fair shot at this. I'm going to take a crack at identifying David's X-File. It's a 25% chance. David, by any chance, is your X-File Leonard Vance?
Yeah, it is.
Whoa. 1 in 25, ladies and gentlemen. 1 in 25. And with that, it's game. What a game it was, huh, David?
What a game it was.
We came out with agents hand selected by not us, but yet our good friend Joost over in the Netherlands. Thank you so much for participating in this, Joost. I did enjoy using this team. I would actually use it again. The thing I really liked about this team is that, as you saw throughout the course of the game, I was taking tokens off of these guys and paying for cards just right and left. The other day when I'm putting my deck together, I'm looking at what these agents can pay for, and I'm like, okay, that site. Oh, this card pays for that. This agent can pay for that card. That's what I was doing. As I was going for couple street contacts because Colton can pay for that. That's what I was doing when I was building this deck. Is I was keeping a hard eye on the keywords. So,
yeah, I noticed that too when Joost first published that team. It's like, oh, it can. I mean, he's got every aspect covered as far as paying for the cards and finding the sites, and I was intrigued what he would come up with. Since he's in the chat area and watching, I would invite him to maybe give me some insight on the team that he chose for me.
My guess is that he was looking at how to give your team of the widest array of skills possible. And not only that, but they're the skills that aren't necessarily subject to those common bluffs that I mentioned at the start of the game, like Sheriff Daniels, Peter Tanaka, Detective Thompson, all those ones that a very cheap bluff would change your site prerequisite and force you to have to make a different skill check. You have agents on your team that pretty much would get you out of all of those ones, including authorized access only, computer access denied. I think you're even good on sciences, if I'm not mistaken.
Sciences is 5.
I couldn't even throw in some unexplainable time losses. Joost also says, due to the diverse skills, you'd be able to handle virtually any obstacle. Well, almost any. Yeah, so any obstacle with regards to forcing his team to make some non-combat skill checks. That's where you were going to be able to answer that readily if you assigned all your agents to the sites, which you were doing. I know from previous games I play with you, you tend to be a little bit cautious and you tend to like, okay, I'm only going to send these ones to the site, but you weren't doing that tonight. You were sending all 5 out there. And so therefore I was like, I was thinking to myself, I'm glad I didn't put a whole bunch of those common bluffs and stuff in there because they were going to be useless. So I was having to fall back on the cards that outright negate your site because I put 2 conundrums in here. I put 2 puzzles within puzzles to negate criminal investigation because I knew your team's strongest suits were criminal and evidence collection. So I was banking on those 2 cards. I was figuring what you were going to do was you were going to include the sites that your team had the most skills to offer to those prerequisites. That's what I was thinking when I was doing my conspiracy half of my deck last night.
It was an entertaining game.
I'm sorry I didn't bring you in earlier. Sorry about that.
Okay.
I saw you were like doing some stuff. I thought I didn't want to bother him.
I'm just sorting through cards. Yeah, David, I think, man, That must have been a frustrating game. Because, I mean, Steven had an answer for everything.
Like, I know you guys think like large decks don't necessarily have a value, but the way I stack them with like 2 of certain cards, and it kind of serves to counterbalance that, which could work as a 60 card deck, could also work as like an 80 or 90 card deck if I put in the 2 of each card that I know I'm going to need.
Just looking at your team from the get-go, it's like you're going to be drawing a ton of cards because you don't have anything else to spend your resource points on.
Right.
So that, I think, was part of the enabling you to find answers pretty easily.
But what say you, Nathan? What say you, Nathan, in terms of like, do you want to do one of these games? Have someone else pick your agents?
Oh, yeah, I'd love to.
Yeah,
and I'd love for it to be a killer game too, so we can knock out some agents.
He's up in the ante. All right.
We need to get in at some point a sealed game. So, David, I am sending you your packs. I'm sending you your packs. Do you need a starter deck too, or do you have that?
I have Premier Starter, but I don't have the Truth Is Out There one.
Okay, so I'll send. Do you think we can get this done with like 2 Truth packs and a Premier pack? Plus,
I did it. Deck? 2 Truth packs, a Premier. What? Wait, how many boosters are you going to do? 2 or 3?
2.
So it'd be 3. It would be
3.
2 Truth and a Premier.
Yeah, definitely.
Starter. Okay.
That will help in those situations if your Premier pack is heavy on the X-Files.
Right.
Before we go, I want to thank 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬. I don't do that enough, but again, I want to thank him for all the work he puts in to help me put those edited episodes together. As you guys have watched, I tend to insert little snippets of X-Files episodes into the games, to kind of showcase what cards being played. A lot of times I have to get those from 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 because I'm not able to find them. I want to thank him pretty much in every episode going forward because it really is a lot of work. I think that's going to about wrap it up. Did you guys have anything you wanted to add before we sign out?
Nope, just another quick thanks to Joost for putting these teams together. It was a lot of fun. Looking forward to doing it again.
And thanks to everybody for tuning in.
Excellent.
Don't forget to subscribe.
Yes, thank you. So I always forget to say that too. Please, if you like this episode, you like this content, please smash that subscribe button. If you have a chance, give it a like, give me a comment. Thanks again for watching, and please be sure to tune in next time for another exciting edition of Alien Investigations.
Thank you, everyone.